All right, everybody, we there? We live? Refresh for me.
Close.
So close. It says we're live. Did you hit play?
And it's coming. YouTube's refreshing right now on my end.
I hope so too.
Yep, you're good. You're live.
We're
Now I
live.
see you.
We are live. So everybody, thank you for joining us. And we got live streaming here. Hold on, this is, you're gonna see behind the scenes because it's the first time we've ever done something like this. So hang tight. Let's see what we got going on here. We are streaming. Life is good. And hopefully we're recording. I have no idea. All right, well, everybody hang on there for 1 second. We're gonna get started here in a second. You are in for a treat today. Let's put up this slide here.
You've got a really nice sweatshirt.
You like my sweatshirt?
I do, yeah.
All right. All right, we've got Nate with us, but hang tight. We are still working some things behind the scenes, but we've got an amazing webinar for you today. We are going to be talking about adapting to an ever-changing market, but more importantly, I'm going to talk to you about what we're doing to adapt in this market, right? So we're not just sitting idly by wishing that business would come our way. This isn't a sales webinar. This is about teaching you, as we always do, ways to make more money in almost any economy, any time of year. And so we started a new company on our side called Creative Sync. And no, it's not geared towards photographers. But in working with Nate over at Sticky Albums, he's like, you got to tell this story because I think photographers can learn about it. So I think you will. I think you'll find that there's a way for you to take your photography skills. Yes, you may be a wedding photographer, you may be a portrait photographer, but there are ways for you to go after another part of the market that's being unserved at this point in time. And that it's right in our backyards, and the light bulb finally went off for me, and I think as we talk through this, it's going to go off for you. So it's an easy way to make more money, I promise you that. So stay tuned, give me 30 seconds, we're just cleaning up some stuff behind the scenes, and we'll be right back. Yep, we still got audio live. It's saying there's the audio twice. Where can you hear me? Huh.
Maybe those people.
Do they have their volume? Should they have headphones?
You have headphones?
There's one pair in this audio bag in front.
All right, stay tuned, everybody.
So you guys just make sure you're monitoring.
All right, stay tuned. Some of you are saying you're having audio issues, so stay tuned. We're trying to figure all this out. Again, this is our first time. Be patient. Give me about 30 seconds here.
Sal, my team's saying everything's sounding good.
Okay. So, all right, let's get started here.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we checked everybody. If you're not hearing audio, a couple of things. Make sure your audio's on, because we just tested on a bunch of machines and people out there, and they're saying they're hearing us just fine. So let's keep the conversation going. So today I am joined by Nate from Sticky Albums. Nate, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing awesome, dude. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited to pave new ground, dude. Innovate or die, right? That's what we got to do.
All right. So the cool part about all this is it's a brand new technology for us anyway. This is the same technology they use in like the CNN news trucks, and so we've had some fun figuring it out, and we spent our entire weekend trying to mess with this. So thank you for being part of this. all of you out there, thank you for being part of it, and hopefully we'll get some things going today. All right. So with that, what I want to do today is talk to you about changes in the marketplace, right? And you see the first slide up. It's about adapting to the ever-changing market conditions. So here's what we're going to end up covering today. So here's our agenda, right? Just kind of a state of the union for us, and talking about weddings and portraits. That's what we do. Like many of you out there, you're doing wedding and portraits. It's a slow time of the year. This is nothing new for anybody, right? It's a slow time of year. And then how do we supplement that income? That's where most of us are struggling, right? And of course, we've all got options. The one thing we can do to supplement income is we can we can do Santa Claus, Santa shoots. And as much as I love Christmas, I don't really particularly feel like sitting out there and being, and being Santa Claus or Kris Kringle and with squeaky toys on top of my camera. I'm going to talk to you about the light bulb moment for me. We launched a new company called Creative Sync. No website, no logo, just an idea. I'm going to share with you what we did. I'm also going to share with you what services we can provide, that we're providing, and what services you can provide. And then we're going to talk about the dynamics in dealing with wedding clients and portrait clients, and dealing with businesses as well, because they're a completely different dynamic if you think about it, right? Dealing with brides, you're dealing with different budgets. Dealing with businesses, you're also dealing with different things. So we're also going to talk about business stats, right? So I'm not just making this up, guys. This is a real problem in our market, and the numbers are staggering. It's going to blow your mind when you hear that 50% of the businesses out there immediately need your help with those services. I'm going to talk to you about where you're going to struggle, and I'm going to talk to you about ways you can succeed. And so my ultimate goal here is to help you guys understand what you need to do to walk away from this webinar and start making money tomorrow. You don't want to be broke through December, January, and February, right, until wedding and portrait season picks back up. And I get it, depending on where you are in the world or in the country, it's different times a year, right? You're going to have a different struggle. And so for us, it's the same thing. I'm in the Midwest. It gets cold here in the winter. And from about mid-November all the way through March is dead time for us. There's no money coming in. And what we're hoping we did was we made all this money ahead of time, right? So that's what we're really hoping for, right? From like May all the way through October, that we made enough money to carry us through the winter. And if we didn't do that, we're screwed this time of year. And what's funny is, like many of you, this is the time of year I spend the most money, right? I'm buying new equipment, I'm buying new lenses, not because I want them, it's because I need them. I must have them. We all need those toys. Well, how do we supplement? How do we pay for that? So that's what we're going to cover today in this webinar. So next slide up is Q&A.
Can you take a pause?
Yeah.
So it's
Stand by.
It's only coming through in the right channel because of our settings. We never went back. So people on mobile will not be able to hear, remember?
Okay.
Do you want to fix that?
Stand by.
So there was a setting where we clicked when we were trying to do that left channel, right channel.
I don't remember where that was. Here are your two channels. Yeah.
Right here.
Go ahead and check it out. Stand by, everybody. Nope. Hit, it's your master. Go up there.
This?
Nope. Something in there. No.
Everybody on my side saying everything's good.
Yeah. So the challenge is if they're on mobile devices, it's only
Okay.
going over one channel. Again,
Got
to
it.
my mobile people, I apologize. I know you're probably at work and you shouldn't be watching this. Well, you can't even hear what I'm saying right now, so you just see my lips moving. So let them know in the thing, if you're on a mobile device, it's coming.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Input one, input
Yeah,
two.
and then go. Hopefully now. Let's see. Check 1 2. You need to get it on the stream out. The stream out
This?
is only pushing one channel.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to keep going here. My apologies. So let them know if they're watching on mobile devices. It's coming over one channel, and that's the problem. Mistake on our end. We'll fix it for the next broadcast. All right, but let's get going. You're going to have questions during this webinar, and here's where I want you to go. Go to our Facebook site, BT Shutter, and we're going to be pushing out over that. Your questions will be handled there. So I got my team. They're sitting there. They're watching that now, and they'll push that out there. They'll answer those questions for you. So without further ado, let's get going into this. This would be the problem I'd be trying to solve if there's a way to push it out across two channels. All right, so here we go, guys. So, State of the Union. We are all wedding photographers, and we're looking at weddings and portraits, right? So that's how we've built our business. That's our focus, just like many of you. That's what you do, right? But this time of year, weddings and portraits kind of dry up depending on where you are in the United States and even in the world, for that matter. And so every year, this time of year, things slow down tremendously, but we've got a choice to make. And so the choice is, do we want to have a Santa? Do we want to become Santa Claus? Or do we want to be able to go after other revenue streams? And that's the part. I do not want squeaky toys. I did it once. I will be honest with everybody. I sat up in a toy store. We set up Kris Kringle. We set up, the squeaky toys, Santa Claus. I rented a Santa Claus. It wasn't me. I didn't play Santa. And we sat there and took pictures, and it was freaking miserable. There was nothing about it that even seemed remotely fun when it was all said and done. Going into it, I thought, man, this is brilliant. Everybody wants pictures of their kids with Santa Claus. This is going to be awesome. Everybody's going to do it. Even I did this 7 years ago, and I never did it again. Even then, I was competing with parents, taking pictures with their cell phones, taking pictures with their point-and-shoot camera. So they didn't want to pay us the $25 to get a professional picture. Even then, they wanted to take it themselves. So here we are. We rented the space. We rented the Santa. We rented the props. And I couldn't get 25 bucks from people. And it turned into this giant cluster. And again, I did it once, and I will never do it again. It doesn't match my brand. And if you've been following what we've been teaching, what we've been saying, you will agree that it doesn't match your brand either. And that's the key to understand here. You don't want to work so hard on building a brand, and then when you get into the winter, you turn into this cheesy studio. And for some of you out there, that may be how your business is built. You may be built on doing Santa Claus, holiday pictures, Easter pictures. God bless. That's your studio. That's your brand. But you cannot go after a high-end part of the market and do Santa pictures. It becomes really, really difficult. And that's not what I want to do for my brand. So talk about devaluing your brand. If you want to do stuff like this, you absolutely will be devaluing your brand, because now you're competing with the malls. And so can you imagine trying to build this huge brand and competing with the malls? Like, you can't win. That's not how I want to be viewed. You're never going to make more money than and you want to talk about being seen as just a photographer. You're going to start having a lot of issues with that. And so the biggest challenge any studio is going to have is dealing with the seasonal nature of the business. That's the challenge for all of us. It doesn't matter what size studio you are. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. The seasonality of our business is the biggest challenge. And it's that the idle time can either make or break your business. And that's the part where, even for me, I would say we're a very successful studio, right? Everybody who knows our story, we've got a beautiful building. We do 35, 45 weddings a year that are $10,000 to $12,000. We do senior portraits that are anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. We do family portraits that are in that $2,500 to $3,000 range. But I have to make all that money in a very small window of time. So I'm constantly hustling, constantly killing myself, which is fine. That's the nature of the beast. But the light bulb has gone off for me in realizing that there's other revenue streams where I don't have to work quite as hard. And I think that's nice for everybody. So let's start talking about what that mindset is. The mindset is about supplemental income. So this time of year, how do we supplement our income? How do we do that? Again, we've always got Santa Claus. We can opt for that, right? Picture me with a red hat on top of my head, and ho ho ho. I mean, there's Nate. There's options here for me, don't you think, buddy?
Oh, for sure. You can do a great Santa.
And so there's a huge segment of the market that's not being served right now. They are underserved. The small and medium-sized businesses all around you guys. All around you, there are small and medium-sized businesses, and you're not even tapping into it. And again, I've been doing this we started back in 2006, 2007. So I've been at this for 9-10 years, and I've never been going after that market. And if I did, it was just really like haphazardly. And all of a sudden, this is the story I'm going to share with you that I think you can all learn from. the light bulb went off and we realized, wow, talk about leaving money on the table. This is what we were doing. And so there's this huge, massive need. Doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, insurance agents, bakeries, florists, all the people that we're working with. Here's an interesting stat. This comes from the U.S. government. This isn't some Sal Cincotta made up stat. U.S. government, there are 27.9 million small businesses in the United States, okay, that exist. So there's 28 million small businesses all across the United States. They make up more of the company footprint out there than do the Microsofts, the Procter & Gambles, all those big companies, right, the airlines. Those are such a small segment of the market. Those are not the segment of the market, by the way, that you or I typically will ever have an option to go service. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm advocating we go after that 28 million people part of the market. And so this becomes absolutely incredible. So here was the light bulb moment for me. 50% of these companies don't have a website. Again, this is not made up statistic. This comes from Inc. magazine. 50% of those 28 million businesses don't have a website today. Of those 50% that do have a website, 25% are not happy with it. Guys, is this clicking for you? 75% of the businesses, 28 million businesses out there, are just green grass for you to go after for. That's websites, and you'll go, wait, whoa, Sal, I'm not a web developer. I know you're not. I'm not even advocating you become a web developer, because you're going to understand in a second what that really means. Part of their web means they need imagery. Guess what we have and know how to use? Cameras. This is what it's all about. So you can't have a new website and not have new imagery. And so this becomes a really interesting proposition. So check this out. Today, if you're a wedding photographer, you spend all your time going after 2 million weddings in the United States every year. Compare that to 28 million, right? Small businesses. I like the odds of going after the small businesses. Now, I'm, again, not advocating, okay? And so you're going to start having questions. Make sure you go to our Behind the Shutter Facebook page, BT Shutter, and start posting those questions, because I'm going to break here in a second to see if we've got any coming in. Girls, make sure you're checking it. No questions yet? Perfect. That's okay. When you realize that there's 28 million businesses that you can go after, the how isn't quite complicated. It's actually pretty simple. And so let's start digging into this. Here was my light bulb moment, okay? Several things happened for me here just in the last, call it 4 months. I had a commercial shoot for a hotel chain here in St. Louis, and we were hired by an advertising agency. They came to us and said, hey, we need more photography for this hotel. It's a very big hotel chain, Hilton Hotels, very big hotel chain here in St. Louis. They came to us for new imagery for all their properties. And I think this particular Hilton owns 5 or 6 different properties here in St. Louis. So they came to us for that. I thought, great, this is an awesome opportunity. We met with their creative director, and we started asking some simple questions. We said, what's the goal of this photo shoot? And they're like, we don't know, just take some pictures. I'm like, what? Take pictures? Like, yeah, I get it, but what's the goal? What messaging are we trying to convey for the properties? I was just asking basic questions that I already asked my clients. What is the goal of the photo shoot? And you don't even know. I said, okay, that's fine. We'll shoot a bunch of different things. Do you have models lined up? No, we're just gonna have a bunch of friends stop by and model. Okay, what? So this is an ad agency, guys. This isn't like some fly-by-night place. This is an ad agency that's getting a lot of money for this photo shoot. I said, so what's going on?
The mobile's not working at all. Audio or in general?
All right. So the challenge here is, right, realizing that they have no vision into what we're doing. So they're gonna have a bunch of friends stop by. So I go, are you gonna have? I mean, I'm not trying to be racist, but all marketing, if you look around, there's an Asian, a black, a female, and a white Caucasian, right? I mean, that's what goes into it, because they want to appeal to everybody, right? If that's offensive to you, stay out of the world of marketing, because that's how it works. This was a foreign concept to them. Again, this is an ad agency being paid a lot of money. And so with all that being said, we are the one prompting this. So then I asked just another simple question. I said, we're shooting at all these hotel properties. Do you have a release? right, a release form, model release. And they looked at me and they said, you really think we need one? Well, yeah, you need one. These are images that are going to be used for marketing and advertising. Of course you need that release. The light bulb went off. You guys want to know how much I made on that opportunity? $6,000. That's what I made on that. That's a lot of money to go do 1 or 2 days of shooting properties. I didn't have to work with a bride. I didn't have to work with engagement session. I didn't have to deliver an album. I didn't have to do all those things that go along with that. The light bulb went off for me. Then there was another one, a real estate company, local real estate company here. They came to me for team headshots. There were 12 of them in the company, right? We get $200 per headshot. Then they started adding all these additional shots. I made over $3,000 for 45 minutes of work. Guys, if the light bulb's not going off for you right now, I don't know what will set it off. This is money that's made for half the work that we're used to. It doesn't mean the work is inferior. It just means it's different kind of work. And what's funny is, in dealing with these people, their frustration in coming to me, the real estate company specifically came to me and said, yeah, we did headshots once before, and they were really, really bad. The photographers had no personality. We looked stiff. We felt stiff. Well, guess what? We're used to working with brides and in portraits, people who are not comfortable every single day. And so our job is to make them comfortable. This is a gift we have as wedding and portrait photographers. You don't think the corporate world needs that? And by corporate, I'm talking about these small businesses with 10, 15, 20 employees or less. There's 28 million of them. Aha moment number 3 for me. This all has happened in the last few months, guys. I'm not going back like this has taken me years to figure out. We had a law office come in. Same thing. They wanted professional headshots. They were in and out of here in less than an hour. On that particular one, we made $1,000 just by doing their headshots, and it's leading to more work. So we are constantly referring to ourselves as a creative director. This is where that light bulb moment has gone off for me in understanding that this is what people want. Real estate agents don't know anything about building a website. Real estate agents don't know anything about taking professional portraits. Real estate agents don't know anything about Photoshop and editing themselves. They know they want to look good on camera. They know they want to look good on their social profiles, right? They know they want to have like clever marketing material. Have you ever seen some of your local real estate agents, the marketing collateral that they hand out? It is freaking horrible. Like, it's like everything you shouldn't do in design, they manage to do. This is horrible. You know why they do it? They have no other options, because no one else is servicing this part of the market. So here was the conclusion that hit me a few weeks ago. Literally a few weeks ago, guys. One thing, we know marketing. We know social media. We know photography. Many of us know video, even basic video. All the cameras we have are all set up to record video. So all you got to do in many cases is just hit frickin' record. You've got something that's going to record full HD, put it on a tripod, create a lock shot, right? I'm not talking you have all this like motion and craziness. That's not what goes into typical About Us videos. We'll talk more about that in a second. So here's what I knew. I had an idea. That's all I had. I had nothing more than an idea, and Creative Sync was born. No logo, no website, nothing more than just an idea. And this was the most incredible part of all for me. It was just an idea. I said, if we know how to do all these things, I find it hard to believe that I will not be able to go off and service this part of the industry. And in the last 60 days, we've signed over $150,000 of new business. Mind-blowing, even for me. And that's all local business. We went out there, we started doing some pitches, we started putting ideas together, we started acting like creative directors, and we've signed over $150,000 in new business. I'm still having a hard time processing that we have done that much business in such a short window of time. No website, no logo. We have totally cashed in on our reputation and our know-how. And by the way, I'm excited about this new stuff because every account has a different set of needs. And it can be as simple as just doing corporate headshots, to marketing material, to websites, to Facebook campaigns. This is what we do. We do Facebook campaigns, right? We do it for our own businesses. Well, at least you should be. And so this becomes really huge. So here's something to consider. We have, maybe you're thinking right now, I can't do this, Sal. But you can, I promise you can. We have the one thing they all need, photography. It's core to almost any marketing effort. No matter what they're doing, whether it's web, social media, video, advertising, the one thing everything requires is photography. This is not a stretch to think that you can fill this gap. It's not a stretch at all. You can fill this gap, no problem whatsoever. And that's the part you have to understand. You have to wrap your mind around. Everybody has this need. 100% has the need. Any business, I should say. Okay. So let's go through and talk about the offering that we're bringing to the table for our clients. And I want you to think, as I'm presenting this, how can you incorporate this into what you're doing and your offering? So that's the part I want you to think about. So let's go through this. First of all, photography. We can bring photography to the table for their product shots, team shots, headshots, lifestyle shots. You can do all of this stuff. You don't have to make $4,000 per job. These are the kind of things you can do today relatively quickly, relatively easily without, when I think about a wedding day, okay, I know that I'm tying up 1.5 to 2 hours of the, on the engagement session, not to mention the in-person sales presentation, which we have to do. So that's, call it another 1.5 hours. So I'm at 3 hours invested. Then their wedding day, 8 to 10 hours, I'm at 13 hours, not to mention the album design, the meetings, the multiple conversations, the editing that goes into it. So by the time you process a wedding, for me and many of you, yeah, you're going to make $3,000, $4,000, for us $10,000. We're going to make that money. There's a whole lot of work that went into it. Here's how the photography part works on this. We go and we shoot all these headshots. I don't edit a single picture, not one. I go, we take all the pictures. Obviously, we're going to remove anything where they're blinking. I might take 5 to 10 frames of each person. We might take some team shots. Maybe when it's all said and done, there's 75 to 100 frames that they're seeing. We go back, we upload it to a shoot-proof gallery, same day, send them the link, and we explain to them, don't pick a picture based on the edit. Now, of course, have your white balance set right in your camera, right? Have your exposure done correctly. These are basic things, of course. But what we explain to them is we say, you're going to see these pictures, they're unedited. Focus on your expression, focus on your pose, make sure you like the way you look. Don't worry about acne, don't worry about blemishes, don't worry about a lint on your jacket, don't focus on any of those things. So now I get back from a shoot, the shoot took me 45 minutes to an hour. We then go back to our computer, download those images immediately, upload all those images. By end of day, they're seeing their images. How's that for turnaround? I mean, same frickin' day. Now, the only thing we're gonna edit are the ones they pick. That's monstrous for us. We only have to do this for the ones that they pick. So the effort that goes into this is huge. Anywhere across the US, if you want to get a decent headshot, you're in the $100 to $200 range for a headshot. Yeah, there's some places that cost more money, but typically if you stay in that $100, $200 range, you're in line, guys. You're not in line with the current pricing. You're not competing with all this other crazy stuff that's out there, like wedding photographers, where it's super competitive. Keep this in mind. Social media. We are now offering everything from campaign creation to content management. So think about this for a second. You're managing that content for them. You already do it for yourself, which you should be. And if you're not, maybe this is something that's overwhelming you. But most businesses don't know anything about social media. Restaurants, bakeries, florists, they want to have nothing to do with that social media. And as far as campaign creation, they're twitching, thinking about it. Like a typical business owner, not all of them, but if they're an established business owner, they're in their 50s, their 60s. I think about somebody like my mom. She's 66 years old. What in the world? You start talking, you know what my mom thinks? Everything's in the cloud. That's her thing. I swear to you, this is her thought process. You know, something happens to her email, she's like, I lost my email. I'm like, well, where'd it go? She's like, I don't know, I think it's in the cloud. Okay, well, that's her mindset. And if you're watching, Mom, I'm sorry, I love you, but there's more to life than the cloud. And so that becomes their mindset. So the average business owner, if you think about this, they know their trade, right? If you're a baker, you know about baking. If you're a caterer, you know about catering. If you're a florist, you know about flowers. What you don't necessarily know about, I'm not saying everybody, but you don't know about anything to do with the rest of social media and marketing. And this is, again, a true story. The builder, we just signed a new builder. We signed a contract here, big money. The one thing he said when he sat down with us, he goes, and it made me smile. He said, I know how to build homes. He goes, and up until the last year or two, I've never had to market my business because people came to me based on reputation. He goes, but the market is changing. I'm watching this happen before my very eyes. He's in He's in his 50s, okay? He's like, I'm watching this happen before my very eyes. And he realized he had to make a change. And he said, I don't know how to do social media, and you do. And that I want to work with you based on that. That's huge for us, guys. You've got to understand the value you bring to the table beyond just your photography. Let's keep going. Video production. Guys, what's used right now is this concept of an About Us video, okay? You can use, let's say you don't know anything about doing it. That's great. There's tools out there that allow you to build a slideshow / video offering for your clients, right? We use ProShow Web, okay? There's ProShow Producer, things that allow you quickly to do it. You can use iMovie if you wanted to drop this stuff in. Turn your camera on and start recording. It's a simple About Us video. Here's why this is important. The average consumer today has no desire, by the way, to go on a website and just read throw up of words. They're not going to do it. What they want to do is they want to see all this other, they just want to get to know you in 15 seconds, and we'll talk about that in a second. All you have to do is learn how to produce that About Us video. That's the thing you have to learn how to do, and it's as simple as putting a little script together, working with them, turning on that camera. That's what they're looking for. These mini commercials, these testimonials, even aerial coverage. We're now getting massive requests to put drones up and film 4K video, put drones up and take pictures of real estate property in our area. These are all options for you. Branding. Branding is another one. Logo creation, web development, marketing material, all the things we're doing every day in our business, we can now offer to our clients. We're already doing it. Next, from a marketing perspective, campaign development and management, design pieces. Oh my God, when we talk about the design pieces that these businesses are producing, they are god-awful. They use fonts that shouldn't be used. They use handouts and brochures that make no sense. Even if you were to buy templates and tweak those templates for them, you're giving them a better offering than they're currently getting today. And then, of course, just general collaboration. Collaborate with them on ideas. What can you do to make their business better? And so if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, or you think, I'm calling bullshit, Sal, there's no way I can do this, I'm promising you one thing. You absolutely can do this. You have to really start thinking like a consumer. And turn the tables, if you will, right? Start thinking like a small business owner, not necessarily a consumer in this moment. But remember, photography is the key to all of this. Without photography, they can't do marketing material. Without photography, they can't do a new website. Without photography, they can't do a campaign. They need your photography. They need exactly what you're bringing to the table. So start small. You might be sitting back going, holy crap, Sal, this is a huge undertaking. But start small. The key is to work on deals that are part of their website and photography, and maybe even part of social media. And so for us, when I'm looking at something like this, here's the size of the opportunity. Our photography, okay, if you follow us, you've heard our stats. Salvatore Cincotta Photography, just in weddings and portraits, we do, on a given year, anywhere from $900 to over $1 million a year. Every year since 2009. We are growing this business in what was the middle of a recession. I believe that Creative Sync is going to be bigger. That's the name of the new company, by the way. We created a new company.
I like it.
Yeah. So we created a new company called Creative Sync to handle all this. And I believe in my heart that Creative Sync is going to be bigger than Salvatore Cincotta Photography. That's got to tell you something, guys. I'm telling you, there's a huge opportunity here. So here's the deal. First of all, how's everybody doing? We got questions? We do have questions? All right, I like questions. Let's hear some questions. What do we got? I hope everybody out there that you guys are enjoying this, and I know there's some technical glitches. I apologize. It's the first time with any kind of technology like this, so we'll figure it out and we'll get better at it for sure. And we're hopefully recording this, and we'll try and get it up online for you. But let's hear some questions.
First one's from Jim. Nate kind of jumped in. How does a business such as a pretzel factory chain here in Pennsylvania utilize the site I would create for them to drive business?
So Jim has a question. He said, how would a local business, it's a pretzel company, it doesn't matter, it's a local business / franchise, how would they utilize those kinds of services here locally to be successful? So Jim, you're raising a very good, pointed, and unique question in the sense of dealing with a franchise. So this is really interesting. When it comes to franchises, I only know this because we at one point looked at taking some of our success and opening up franchises. Franchises like to control almost everything about it. So there's certain ways logos can be used, certain ways branding can be done, messaging can be put out. So what you would have to do is work with that local franchise owner. And that local franchise owner, depending on the franchise, has some latitude in what they can and cannot do. They may not actually be able to work with you on this, Jim. So you may have to step away, but let's assume they can. Your push with him will be something very, very local. So for example, if he has access to that Facebook page, which sometimes local franchises do, right? So if you're a Subway, the Facebook page is going to be Subway, Facebook for Subway in general. Can he create a Facebook page for Subway O'Fallon, Illinois? If they can, or for that local pretzel company, guess what they need? Imagery tied to that local one. I got to be honest with you. Me personally, I'm not going after any of the franchises. I don't feel like they fit into my wheelhouse because you're not dealing with power. Power is the person who can make the decision. And so with franchises, I find, again, not always, 80-20 rule, that person there locally doesn't have the option for power. But if I look just in my local market, right here in O'Fallon, Illinois, I can throw a rock and hit no less than 30 to 40 businesses in a half-mile radius that are owned and operated by the owner, right? Not a franchisee. So that would be where I would go with that if you're going to attack this first. So hopefully that makes sense.
Not a question, but your mom is watching.
Not a question, but my mom let us know that she is watching and tuned in. Mom, it's in the cloud. So we got another question?
We got a few.
Okay.
Don, how are you finding the new business and marketing to them?
So Don has a question. How am I finding the new businesses and marketing to them with that? That's a great question. So Don, the truth is, again, I'm always honest with you guys. The first set of businesses just fell into our laps. I mean, we were really ignorant to the fact. And the funny thing here is my attorney, my personal attorney, who's represented our business for 8 or 9 years now, he came in because we're setting up the new companies and all that stuff. And he goes, I've always wondered why you never went after local businesses. And I said, because I could never figure out what they needed. I never really understood it. I said, now I finally get it. And now it becomes about networking. So my attorney is the attorney for the local board, for the Southern Illinois Board of Realtors. So talk about having an in where I can now go sit and pitch this to all the companies here locally. That's huge. So a lot of this, to answer your question, is going to be about networking. But in a few slides, I'm going to tell you exactly how I think you should go off and market this. So very good question.
Quick one. Will the slides be available?
Question is, will the slides be available? We can definitely make them available for you.
How do you recommend that they approach small businesses?
So it seems like a lot of the questions coming in are about how right now. So let me get to it because I anticipated you were going to ask that question. So let's keep going because that's the next slide. How do I get started? And so like anything else, we need a plan to go after this and get started. We've got to start locally. Small businesses that are just like yours. Now, the way you're going to lead on this is you're leading with photography. I would not recommend, unless your business is established and you have brand recognition behind it. For me, it's a little bit different, right? I can walk into a business, hey, we're Sal Cincotta. I'm Sal Cincotta of Salvatore Cincotta Photography. We're here local in town with you. You've seen our building. It becomes a little bit easier to break the ice. That doesn't mean they're going to hire me just because I'm Sal. I've got to have a good value proposition for them, but it's easier for me to break the ice. And so for you, you want to lead with photography. Here's the one thing you have to keep in your mind. All businesses need updated headshots or team shots, updated product shots on their website and social media, definitely a new website, if not an enhanced website, and at a minimum, a responsive website, right? I'm one of those people, by the way, right? So when I think about us and our brands, I've got behindtheshutter.com, I've got salcincotta.com, I've got 5 other companies that we own, and right now we are going through this painful transition to convert all our properties to be responsive sites, right? Responsive is it looks good on an iPhone and an iPad. In fact, if your site's not responsive, from an SEO perspective, you're going to get penalized by Google. So we're aware of this, and we're in the process of transition. It's painful, right? A site like behindtheshutter.com, which many of you are on watching right now, and if you're on your mobile device, it's probably freaking painful for you, my apologies. That site, the revamp of that site to convert it, right, that we have a new site coming up, $15,000 to get that site revamped and responsive. That's a lot of money for a small business just to convert their site over. but it's got to be done. But think about it. Behind the shutter is a much more complicated property. There's member areas and all these other things. That's not where I'm advocating you go. A florist, a caterer, a coffee shop, a construction company, they don't have all this complicated logic. They don't have it. All they need is the information available on their site that's updated, fresh, and visually appealing. That's what you bring to the table. And this is going to lead to more opportunities with them, right? So when I told you the light bulb moment for me, I told you about a company that spent $6,000. I told you about a company that spent $3,000, and then I told you about a company that spent $1,000 just getting a couple of headshots and team shots. Our largest, the other 3 major accounts that we've signed have been over $40,000. So you're looking at business that's ranging anywhere from $40,000, $50,000 to $1,000. You've got this huge set of opportunity. Don't start and go after the $40,000 opportunity, as appealing as it is, by the way. Start with what you can, bite off what you can actually chew and get done. So let's keep going with that. I want to talk about the difference in the clients. This is huge, by the way. Dealing with brides and portrait clients, come on, man. You guys have all been there with me. I'm on this journey with you. We sit there with clients. They're constantly haggling with us. They're constantly just trying to whittle us down. They're like, well, we're talking to another photographer, and another photographer does this. And they all want digital images. They don't want to spend more money. They've commoditized what we do. And from a wedding and portrait perspective, all of us, you and myself included, we're fighting this battle to ensure that our products or services are not commoditized, right? They have to have this value proposition. We have to position ourselves as fine art. This is an interesting dynamic when you're dealing with small businesses. With small businesses, maybe to a certain extent, they do just want the digital files, but that's what they need. You've got to charge them for that, right? So I'm not going to be there for 10 hours to deliver, right, all these images. Instead, a typical business headshot, and we've been doing headshots over the years, many years, are anywhere from, like I said, $100 to $200. Well, if you have a team of 10 people, it's going to take you less than an hour to photograph them in headshots. Even if you're charging $100, you're going to get $1,000 for that work. That's huge. Do you know how many law firms, small law firms, I'm not talking about going after like the ones you're seeing on CNN where they've got, 20 law offices across the world. Maybe you can get that gig, congratulations, but get the low-hanging fruit, right? What you want is that low-hanging fruit, and there is plenty of it all around you, man. Grab the yellow pages. Well, maybe don't grab the yellow pages. That doesn't make any sense. We got to go to the cloud, right? So go online and Google law firms in your zip code, right? Lawyers in your zip code. You're going to see so much come back. Bakeries, florists, pick a category and go after it. Here's some talking points. Here's what's going to drive your conversation and drive the opportunity for you. 55% of visitors, this is a study done in late 2014, okay? 55% of visitors spend less than 15 seconds on your site. Less than 15 seconds on your site. We live in an instantaneous world. This was one of the big conversations I had with a local developer who has subsequently hired us to do video content, own their website, headshots, product, shots of their properties. He's like, I get it. He goes, if you send me a video, okay, here's a guy who's in his 50s. He's not a 22-year-old, a 24-year-old. He's in his 50s. He's like, if you send me something that's longer than 60 seconds, I'm not gonna watch it. That's a video, let alone if I get to a website. So think about all those law firms, right, who've been just brainwashed that we need more content, more SEO content, put more words on your page. Okay, if I go to a doctor or law firm site and I see this of nothing but words, yeah, next, right? I want instant gratification. Tell me who you are in 30 seconds or less. Do you know how many websites are out there that cannot tell you who they are in 30 seconds or less? Instant opportunity, okay? That can be a hybrid of video and photography. They will hire you for this. I absolutely promise. People want information and they want it fast. They don't want too many words. They want video and they want pictures. That's what wins. This is the opportunity for you. So let's get started. Here's where you're going to get started. Here's the meat of everything we've been talking about. One, it can be done under your current brand. You don't necessarily have to start a new company to do this. I chose to. I started a new company called Creative Sync, and it's CINC, right, for Cincotta. So we started that company. I do have a logo that just got developed, and we'll show you that. I'll post it on the site for you to see. But you've got to start thinking like a business and what they would need. That's how you have to start thinking about this. Think like a client. What does a client want? And so think about how easy this pitch is. If you want to go after a bakery, go into the bakery, walk around. Is it easy to find what you're looking for? Go to their website. Is it easy to determine where they're located? Is it easy to determine what their hours are? Is it easy to see what products they offer? Do the pictures they're showing you make you want to buy that product, or do you just look at it and you're disgusted? These are the kind of things that you bring to the table when you walk in. You have to think like their customer. And if you have that conversation where you're saying, here's what I would want if I were coming to your site, and you put that list together before you even get there, don't ad-lib the whole conversation, right? What are your 5 talking points? What are you pitching to these people? What is your value proposition? Why should I hire you? Why should I work with you? Your job becomes to bridge the gap between what they need as a business and what the client's looking for. Your portfolio becomes crucial to this, right? Again, I was very lucky. We booked a lot of business in the last, call it 60 to 90 days with nothing to show except vision. I don't think that's normal for everyone, and I don't mean that in a bragging way. If I had to do it all over again, I'd probably want to get my shit together before I started doing these pitches. But I've got a really good reputation. I was able to go out there and win some mind share really, really early on because they've seen our portfolio and they've dealt with us in one form or fashion. That's not going to be the case for you in many cases. So what you want to do is go out there and build your portfolio. Show them exactly what you can do for them versus talking about it. Do two or three for free. Pick a category you want to go after. Do you want to go after a law firm? Do you want to go after a doctor's office? Do you want to go after insurance agents? Pick them, do them for free, so now you have this portfolio that you can put on your site. I want you to connect with the local Chamber of Commerce. That's another important thing. That business is out there. I want you to look up every dentist, doctor, law office, real estate, insurance company in a 25-mile radius. All you have to do is go to Google and Google that category and Google your zip code and expand that zip code to ones in a 25-mile radius. You will have a list of prospective leads that you can go after immediately. Guys, I'm telling you, there is massive money to be made here, okay? Once this list is together, now we need a marketing plan. We got to figure out how to market them. What I would do is target them for headshots and team shots. Every company has different needs, right? Put a simple campaign together. The campaign can be as simple as, isn't it time you updated your headshot? Isn't it time you updated your website? Isn't it time you updated your social media? That can be the crux of the campaign. Look them up, check out their web presence. Don't offer them a new site if they got this slick, snazzy new site. We already understand 50 to 75% of them will not have that. So you have a huge offering here. We have to make that pitch to them. Here is the key. Here's what works. I know this because I've already done it. You've got to pitch, okay, 2 to 3 options to them. So if you follow our wedding and portrait methodology, what I've taught you for years on Creative Live, at Shutterfest, if you follow that methodology, we know we want to put 3 packages in front of them, right? 2 to 3 packages. It's the same thing here. What I would do is put a base package together, which is just team shots, headshots. A middle package, which offers a little bit more. Maybe it's a refresh of their website, and I'm going to show you how to do that really easy without having to be a web developer, and new pictures that you're going to host for them monthly, residual income. We're going to talk about somebody who's doing this through Nate, through Sticky Apps, making over $1,000 a month just through the app. That's it. All residual income. It's a no-brainer. A top option is offering them video production, an About Us video, a new website, their social media, campaign creation, 3 packages. What's the pull-through? We just identified all that. This stuff can be done. You take all the principles we've been teaching you and now apply them to this. Think both short-term and long-term. If you get in with a company, don't go in with this $100,000 proposal. You're going to lose it, okay? Go in with something that's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, okay? Give them a huge value proposition. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to come back to you. You know how many of your weddings are going to come back to you for a second wedding? Not many. And even though the divorce rate is like 50, 60%, they're not coming back to you for a second wedding. I mean, it's just, I don't know, maybe they think you're the bad luck. It's your fault they got divorced. But when they go to get married a second time, they're not coming back to you. But if you win with these businesses, every time they update their headshots, they're coming back to you. There is a local business here before Creative Sync was ever created. We had been doing their headshots for 3 or 4 years now. They keep coming back. Every time they add a new team member, they send that team member over, boom, quick headshot for them. Why are they doing that? They trust us. They've had a good experience with us. So here's how you're going to market to this. And I know you've had questions about it. So here we go. This is local boots on the ground, guys. You are connecting with your businesses, showing them you're not some random person calling from India. You're some person who's here right in their backyard, because guess what most small businesses want to do? Stay local. They want to keep everything local. And so you're going to put packets together, right? Not with the pricing, just like we do teach you for our weddings, but what you offer. You're going to put a slick marketing packet together and drop that off. And that's going to be how you start this. You're going to offer direct mail, right? And your direct mail campaign could be as simple as showing a really bad headshot, right? Go find something on stock photography from like the 1980s and then show them 2 or 3 modern headshots that you're going to offer. And the campaign is simple. Isn't it time you updated your headshots? And you're going to send direct mail. That will work, right? You're going to connect with your local chamber of commerce. They have the keys to the castle. They know all the local businesses. And then you're going to network. Who do you know in your local area that's in the same situation you're in? Small businesses in your area. Start networking, okay? You've got to start connecting with these businesses, getting involved in the community. And so part of the proposal is going to be a new website or a new mobile platform that you're going to offer to them. That you will own updating with fresh content. That's the offer. That's how you're going to get residual income from this. And this is what, by the way, Sticky Apps was absolutely built for, is this segment. Sticky Apps isn't meant to be a brand new functional website. Sticky Apps isn't meant to be a video production platform. Sticky Apps is a gateway drug, in my opinion, to help you get involved with these businesses and not have to be a web developer. You don't have to be a web developer. It's dummy proof. And that's what he's done. And by the way, not only are we offering full-fledged web design for companies, we're offering this more economical version of it through Sticky Apps to our client base. They are going to let them make their choice. Remember, we've got 3 packages. Yeah, package 1, package 2, this is what we're going to do. It's a responsive site, it's mobile, it's fast, it's up online, and we own updating all the pictures for you. And for $200 a month, we'll update up to 20 pictures, right? You can put it together any way you want. We can get creative with this, but Sticky Apps becomes the platform like for that for you. So, holy crap, that's a lot of talking. Yes, that was fun, and thank you for bearing with us. I do want to talk. I want to take some questions now. There's a lot of questions, Nate.
While those are coming in, let me chime in. Did they have my
Yeah.
audio right now?
Can everybody
Okay.
hear Nate, hopefully?
Yeah. So I want to review some awesome things you're sharing here, and have everybody on the call just think about like Business 101 is finding your competitive advantage, right? And as you mentioned, it's getting harder and harder to define your competitive advantage in a saturated market where there's 2 million weddings to be had each year. But if we stop and look at where our industry has gone, like, yeah, we've all struggled with everything running to the web. How do we still make money the traditional way as photographers? But the great news is we as an industry, we buckled down. Look at us. There's hundreds of people live right now learning. Think about other industries right now and what they're doing. We have this huge advantage as photographers that a lot of us are just waking up to now. You've had your heads down working, taking Sal's advice, learning from other sources about marketing, about business. And not only do you have that advantage now, you have photography skills, right? That is when you guys, we've talked about with you, Sal, just business partnerships with wedding venues as a marketing play, right? You have this huge advantage when you go to network with a local wedding vendor. Imagine how much harder it is for other vendors to network together, like a florist and a bride maker. What do they really have to offer each other besides just like, let's go have coffee?
No, Nate, you're spot on. Like the light bulb had already gone off for me, but my attorney was here last week and he's sitting down and he said that to me. He said, I don't understand why you never offered this before. He goes, it's a huge opportunity. He goes, and I just figured you were busy with other things. And that made me realize, like, others were looking at me like I was an idiot because I wasn't going after this opportunity, because it's smacking all of us right in the face. It's right in our backyard, and I don't understand why it took me 8 or 9 years to figure this out. I have no idea, but you're right. It's the one common thread we all have.
And what's cool is we've gotten better. So there's a lot of things I talk about in this platform where we have a head start. We have a head start now in business knowledge. because we've had to learn what it was like, how to market our businesses online. You've got this huge technical savvy advantage when you compare yourself to other florists, other small businesses, single founders. You guys have the advantage in the skills and in the photography. So we want to work through the slides I sent for you,
Yeah.
Sal. Let's talk about what matters most, just real quickly. Uh, think about the savviness of a small business owner in their social media. Like, we know how some of them don't even have them set up yet, right? All of that's important. It's crucial to marketing and being found in your local area. Advertising, print, video, all of these things, right? Maybe having a mobile presence. Well, at the very bottom of this pyramid, what is the common denominator? And you've hit this point, but I want to hit it even harder. Professional photography. Everybody, all small businesses need it. In order to do all of these things, they need that. So the questions that were coming in, where do you start? We're going to talk about all kinds of options, and I think you've laid out a really clean business model. Is start with photography. You don't have to be an expert in all these other areas if you don't want to be, but guess what? A lot of you are, especially when you compare yourself to where the bar is at for most small businesses. So leading first, put your best foot forward with professional photography. And if the web work is there, if the video work is there, if they need help with a print ad, a video commercial, you've got that skill. You don't have to offer that to everybody, but you're going to be blown away with how many people need it. So, Sal, you're not alone. It's taken other business owners to kind of knock on our head to say, hey, there's an opportunity here. One graduate in the program early on, same thing happened. He's had a great marketing relationship with a local wedding venue, right? They had no website. They had just spent like $1 million remodeling this awesome place, and they didn't have a website for it yet. So they were like, oh, we know Josh Fisher. He's got a good website. Let's ask him. He does good pictures. Let's ask him if he can help us out. So he's like, yeah, sure, I can help you out. He puts together a quote. He's like, yeah, it'll be like $3,000 because I need to do a WordPress and it's going to take me time and I'll do a shoot. And they're like, oh, shoot, we can't afford that. But it's then he graduated from Sticky Apps, and he's found we provide a platform we'll talk about to make it a lot easier and for less time for him and easier for them to pay monthly. And they jumped on instantly because they are the ones knocking on photographers' doors saying, look, I need your help. You obviously get it because I see your website, I see your pictures. I need your help. And we're hearing time after time, small businesses, we call them walking yeses. You don't need to go out there and sell this. You don't need to convince any small business owner that they need better pictures and they need a mobile presence. There's millions out there that know they need it and they just haven't known where to go because, Sal, to your case, it's costing you $15,000 to hire a custom dev shop, right? Yeah. The demand for this is so huge, it's through the roof, that it's pushed it out of reach for the local lawyers, the real estate agents, the florists, the cake makers. They can't afford it. So they're stuck, right? They don't know what to do. And yeah, they might go to Squarespace, which is great. You can build a great site there. But guess what? They don't want to. They want to hire somebody because as soon as they build a template-based site with somebody else and put their own terrible iPhone pictures in, they still have a terrible website. They need you, period. Okay.
Well, that goes back to the point, right? The point is, and that's the point I was trying to make, and I felt like this opportunity has been smacking me in the head, is that at the end of the day, no matter what they want to do, they can go with Squarespace, they can do all these things. They don't have the right imagery, and that's what you're bringing to the table. Everything is foundational on top of the photography. And in a world we live in today where it's becoming increasingly more difficult for us to bring that value to the table with our brides and with our portraits, in the world of business, I think it actually becomes a little bit easier. And if our current success in the last 60 to 90 days is any indication of what 2016 is going to look like for us, this is going to quickly dwarf the other parts of my business. That just actually kind of pisses me off that it's taken me this long to figure it out.
I love hearing you say that, man. So let's just, I'll make one more point on how big this opportunity is. So go to the next slide, April 21st. You guys listening? I'm willing to bet many of you know why that date is important because I saw a lot of you talking about it in the Shutterfest Facebook group, on the Behind the Shutter page. Photographers have their finger on the pulse. You guys knew that this was happening. That if you've got a non-mobile friendly site, you're not going to show up in mobile searches. So what does that mean? So here's some more numbers. If you've got 60% of local searches, right? Think about when you're looking for something local, you're on your phone. So over 60% of local searches are happening on a mobile device. Now, Google says if you don't have a mobile responsive site, we're not going to show that your site as a search result when somebody's searching on their phone. We don't want to give them a terrible experience, right? So they're not even showing up. So you start talking to small businesses in your area and say, hey, have you noticed an impact in web traffic? Well, it might be because your phone, your website doesn't look good at all. It doesn't load on a mobile device. It might even be an old flash site or something like that, right?
Nate, I just want to highlight that the irony of this conversation about responsive sites and the fact that Behind the Shutter is not a responsive site at the moment is not lost on us. So
it's all good. I've been harping on you for a long time. I know it's a lot of work. The beauty is the type of stuff I'm suggesting is going to be really easy. I totally respect, as a business owner, the complexity of what you've got to do. I know it's no small feat. So next slide, you look at, we know now as consumers, we've kind of just accustomed that small town, or not even small town, just small business websites are terrible. They look so bad on a phone. If they load it all, we're pinching and zooming and going all over. They've just dumped the whole kitchen sink into their website. And what mobile's done is it's shortened our attention spans, right? So we have even less time. To your stats, 15 seconds. A website for a small business owner needs to be dead simple. And that's what we're helping you guys build. So Sticky Apps is a platform, a new builder. To make some clarification, I'll post some links. Shannon's on my team. If you guys want to post some sample Sticky Apps in the Facebook chat going on, you guys can take a look. If you want to send a text message, sticky to 313131, you can see a sample of what you can build with our brand new award-winning builder. It's dead simple. If you can build a sticky album that's built off the same really easy drag and drop builder, really simple to use. And I know all of you guys right now should be like, I don't want to be a web developer. I'm not a web designer. I'm a photographer. I get that. And that's why our whole system is built on a set of templates. So you start with a wedding venue template, or you start with a florist template. You guys are spending no more than an hour or two building these sites, and then you're earning residual monthly income as you go. So let's quickly review. For those of you new to, I'm Nate, hi, from Sticky Albums. You might have heard me before. I started that business back in 2012. So Sticky Albums, we can post a link to that in the forum, in the chat as well. That is a marketing tool for portraits. Very simple gallery. But we saw as Sal was using our first platform to do stuff like this. We're like, wait a second, everybody's using Sticky Albums to partner with businesses. So it was knocking on our door too. We're like, we got to wake up. There's a bigger opportunity out here to enable photographers to go after businesses. So we totally revamped it from the ground up, Sticky Apps, and that's what we're talking about today. So as you guys are thinking about this, Sal, what are some other industries you're excited to go after, right? The ones that need, I like the point you made earlier about what is the consumer looking for? The consumer needs to see pictures of the product or service. That's the business you should be going after, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, part of what my team is doing before end of year is we're already putting a marketing plan together for Creative Sync on where's the opportunity lie. We don't want to go to this date, again, being completely transparent with everybody. In the future, we'll probably do another webinar talking about what the success we've had, the failures we've had, and what we've done to work around it. But what we're doing is we're going, okay, where's the opportunity lie? We don't want to go about it haphazardly, which is what we've done in the last 60 days. I think we've been extremely lucky to book the business we have in the last 60 days. So I want to have an actual plan together. I like being organized with it. So what we're going to do is the first round of targets are going to be lawyers. We know they got money. Doctors, we know they got money. Insurance agents, again, we know they got money. These will be the first round of people we go after. And then, of course, real estate companies, whether they have money they want to spend or not is maybe not 100%. But I know one thing, they have a need.
Totally.
So they have a need that you can go after, let alone all the other small businesses you have, right? I mean, we're not going to go after it, but what we're going to do is we're going to market specifically to those areas. So just because a local coffee shop comes after me doesn't mean, no, you're not in our marketing plan. We'll go after those, but I'm putting specific campaigns together targeting these other audiences.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The first thing that you apply, that you've taught so well across all of your education, you start the high end of the market, right? So your time is valuable. You go after people who value their own time because they're going to value yours. So if it's real estate, what we've learned is you've got to stay high end. If you're going after homes, that is a competitive space where you've got to drive across town to just take a couple pictures. That's gotten pretty competitive. But you go after, do a home search for the homes over $1 million and see, it's sad, you'll find homes that are on MLS with cell phone pictures. They're trying to sell $1 million homes with cell phone pictures. Like, that's just embarrassing. So there's an opportunity there too, but just go after the high end.
Well, Nate, what I want to do now is, if you don't mind me just kind of hijacking what you're talking about here, is I want to show one of the sites that's from Sticky Apps.
All right, let's do it.
This is, tell us a little bit about this, because there's some case studies here. This is done through Sticky Apps, correct?
Correct, yes.
This is a mobile-friendly site.
Yep. Which one are you showing? Because I don't get to see your screen live right
This
now.
is Inspiring Ambiance.
Oh, yeah. So that's a wedding venue. So
Or
you guys look
ambience.
through this. Yep.
Depending which way you want to say it.
That's super artistic. As you guys are looking at this, what I want people to think about is compare it to other wedding venues websites in your town. Like, just do a search right now and compare this site to what is available. The bar is so embarrassingly low that this is what this is meant to replace.
And then this embeds, I'm looking at it, sorry, Nate. Yeah, it
No, it's
embeds
good.
slideshows. I'm watching video transitions. So
Got it.
Sticky Apps, they didn't have to know anything. They just created a YouTube video, and that's embedding slideshows into their site.
Exactly. Yep. You got it. And what's
That's
cool
incredible.
is instead of just having one, like when you've built like a sticky album for your florist, they just got one gallery, right? And a logo. This is a full-blown site. It's meant to replace. So people will talk about, we've probably got these questions as, why do we call it a sticky app? Well, the reason we call it an app is because it's a cool way you want to avoid the negative baggage people have about the web. You'll learn that this is a huge pain point. And depending on who you're talking to, they're embarrassed to share with you how much money they've spent in developers who won't return their phone calls, how many times they've tried to do it themselves and failed. So when you come in and say, hey, I want to help you with your website, it's bad. It's kind of like, you want to be gentle bringing it up because there's going to be some baggage around it.
Well, I want to talk to this because what everybody's seeing is, you're seeing us scroll through the site, and if you're not paying attention, the part you have to understand is that what you're seeing on the screen now, bring up that screen, this is your value proposition. So you're bringing in a refresh of these images as part of their new site. And you can see this becomes really, really easy to do on your platform, Nate. You don't have to be a web developer. This is super easy to do. You teach them how to do it, correct?
Totally, yeah. It comes with a full, it was first offered as a 6-week program or an 8-week boot camp, and we've condensed it all into a learning management system with all kind of videos. I'll ask those questions, or answer those later too. But to this point, this is, by calling it a sticky app, it lets you, or you don't call it that, you say an app. It lets you dodge. They're like, oh yeah, I need something mobile. They hear the word app and they freak out, right? They know the word app is important, and it's an opportunity for you to have a conversation. And people say, yeah, that'd be so cool. I need something mobile friendly. You show them this, and then they start going, oh, this can replace my website, can't it? You let them come to that conclusion, and it's a home run. So you don't have to deal with any app store, any hassle like that. This is a mobile responsive site. Send it to your phone. It looks awesome on every device, and it's super simple for you to build. Okay, so
Nate,
go ahead.
I'm gonna cut right to your slide with, in the spirit of time, I want
let's do it.
Tell them what's included. Obviously, I want to get to Q&A, so don't disappear on us, guys. but Nate's obviously offering you a solution into this space. So Nate, that slides up. Talk to him about sticky apps, sticky payments, and what you're offering for Cyber Monday.
Awesome, let's do it. So what's cool, you guys hang out. I mean, what I've learned is when we do this webinar, people just hang on. Like we've taken normal hour webinars and they've turned into hour ones because people get all excited and have all kinds of questions. So we'll be here making sure everything's addressed. So stump number one.
Just so you know, there is a shit ton of questions. So this is a good sign. It means it means people are excited about it.
We've hit a chord. All right. We're here. My whole team's chatting in there to respond, and we'll get to as many as we can. Number one, sticky apps. It's a builder, template-based builder. So you don't have to be a developer. If you can do drag and drop on Facebook, you can build a sticky app. We handle all the hosting. And then the thing I'm most excited about, Sal touched on this a little bit, is sticky payments. And that allows you to create monthly recurring subscriptions. So people can pay you for not just their website, but you bundle together a custom package for if you sell 10 florists, each florist is going to have their own custom package combined with their own website, and depending on what kind of services they need. Like Sal talked about, it could be headshots, it could be multiple shoots throughout the year, it could be a video, it could be they might need help with a logo design or print. They don't know where to print stuff for a local print campaign. You can help them by bundling all of that together and offering at a low monthly fee. So Nate, go ahead.
Just to jump in here from my perspective and to translate my message, what you're doing here, guys, I want to see you follow this 3-package system I'm telling you about. Give them options on everything from just delivering the images and the site to maintenance of that. Maintenance is where you're going to make that residual income. And so to Nate's point, if you sign up 10 florists and each one's paying you $100 a month, which for any business is a reasonable number, that's $1,000 a month of residual income coming in. Now, I think that's super low. I would not even advocate that. So I would be advocating much higher monthly fees for this. But you've got to give them options. And I think if you hold on, we've got police and ambulance. The world's coming to an end in O'Fallon. If you put 3 options together for them, everything from $100 a month, right? So an upfront fee of maybe $1,000, $9.99, and then a monthly fee of $100, $200, $400, right? In a stair-step process, giving them different things, right? So maybe you're not only updating their app, you're updating their sticky app, and you're updating their social media with those images. Then you could charge more and stair-step through. Is that right? So I want to make sure I'm teaching you guys how to do this so you're making money.
Totally. And to Sal's point, if you want to do, the demand is so high, I don't think you guys need to give away anything free to build your portfolio. Just discount it. So a lot of photographers do have that upfront fee of $500, $300 upfront. Just waive that. Just say, hey, look, I'm getting this started. So if you sign up this month, I'm going to waive our setup fee, but you're still going to pay $100, $150 a month. And they're they're like, here's my credit card. So if we go back to the top of the call, what's going on? Like, that should be shocking to you guys that half of small businesses in the US and worldwide don't have a website. Why not? And I talked about this as the market has been driven too high. They can't afford it. So your ability to offer something on a monthly payment plan is gold for them. Now they can afford it. Now you're taking them from no site or to a terrible site, and you're sending them customers all of a sudden. Every month, they're getting new customers. So they're going to happily pay you monthly. And in the end, that's going to equal more money in your pocket. And we start thinking selfishly as photographers. Tell you what, recurring revenue is the holy grail. Even if you just add $1,000 a cushion, 10 small businesses, or even 5, depending on how you price it.
Nate, the truth is, if you're really going after this and you can't get 10 businesses to sign up, I would say you're not really going after it.
Right.
Guys, go do the Google research so that you can stop telling me or thinking in your mind it can't be done. It can be done. There's a huge opportunity there, and just keep expanding your mile radius, because you're talking about a part of the industry or the world, if you will, that's not being serviced right now. And if it is being serviced, it's not being serviced well. The big ad agencies, stand by.
Nice.
The big ad agencies are all going after these monster accounts, right? These $1 million accounts. and the rest of the small businesses in the world sit there unserviced. You have now a huge prime opportunity to go after it. So Nate, what else
All right,
did they
what's
get?
the deal?
Because we did
Yep.
good stuff for them.
All right, cool. So, so other thing, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. As you guys listen to Sal brag about how awesome he is, you should be telling you, you should be asking, well, I don't have a team. Sal's got a team of developers. He's got a team of designers, marketers, all these people, so that he can go after these big clients. If you can do that, awesome, more power to you. But what I want to provide all photographers is, even if you're just a team of your own, this is, you lean on sticky apps, so that the platform, so you don't have to be a custom developer. You don't have to do any of this stuff from scratch. And you can go after, like Sal was saying, this completely underserved market where they're just crying for your help. So what the lesson that Sal hammered for me in the last 4 years of doing sticky albums is that technology is nothing by itself without education. And so we realized that how important education is, and we doubled down. And so included in this $350 a year is a full-blown academy with templates, swipe copy. We have a template for you to print out a brochure. We have stuff that you can grab and just run with it, so that you hit the ground running with this business and using the things that have already been working for other small businesses. So that's all included in this fee. So it's normally $499, Cyber Monday special deal, $150 off, bonus 2 months free. So that means for 14 months, you get access to this full platform. And of course, Sal wouldn't let me even near you guys if I didn't have something exclusive for the Behind the Shutter team. You guys get 2 additional business coaching sessions if you sign up with this webinar. Included in your membership is live one-to-one coaching, business coaching, helping you guys prepare for your pitches, helping you finalize your brochures. If you've got, of course, the support, we've got an amazing support team to help you make sure if there's any technical issues at all, we've got you covered there too. But as a special exclusive, when you sign up with this link, you get 2 additional business coaching sessions. Just really want to show you guys our commitment to helping you guys into this new business with all of the tools you need.
And the link is underneath the video player right now. If you guys are watching, you can click on that and get there. And I think this is really cool, Nate. I know it is for me. I know it's a huge opportunity. And just so everybody out there watching knows, this was not my idea to do this webinar. This was Nate, because when I started Creative Sync, it wasn't geared towards professional photographers. It's still not geared towards professional photographers. We're geared towards small businesses, but then Nate really petitioned for this, I guess is the right word, that we should do this, because this is an opportunity that all of you can go after. So yeah, we're not necessarily pitching Creative Sync towards you, where you would hire us to do a promotional video or take over your social media or your headshots or your photography. I mean, we could do it if that's what you wanted, but instead we're going after small businesses. And in the spirit of education, I think this is a good fit for you guys. So in the spirit of all that, I want to take some questions, because my team's over here to my left, just eyes lit up that there's a lot of questions we got to get through. So let's start answering some questions.
Cool.
Girls?
I'll chime in while one's coming in.
I know you just kind of went over it, but there's a lot of
Go
where
ahead.
to start, where to go from there, what to include in pricing, a lot of pricing.
So a lot of pricing questions are coming in. So let me give you a loose framework. I do believe, after talking through this just with you guys, that probably in the next few months we'll do another webinar once I flush everything out on my end. And like I said, I'm always transparent about it. We have haphazardly stepped through it. Yes, 150K is a lot of money in business to book when you're haphazardly doing something. I get it. But for me, I want this to be $1 million company. For you, it can be a 6-figure line of business. It can be $1 million line of business. It can be whatever you want it to be. It's just about how much effort you're willing to put into it. But in the spirit of that, there's so many questions online about pricing. Here's what I would advocate. There's 2 parts to how you're going to pitch this. One is going to be the initial work, right? Whatever that price is going to be. I say for most small businesses, if you can't put a package together that's $9.99 starting, it's not worth your time, right? It's just like weddings. It's just like portraits. Yeah, you can go out there and do a portrait session on Groupon for $50, but it's not worth your time. So I would say your starting point is going to be $9.99, $19.99, $29.99. Let the business decide on its own what is important to it. Now, if you've done your homework and your research, those packages can be very, very compelling. I would say the key thing to keep in mind here, whereas if you've been following my pricing model, I tell you don't jack with the recipe, right? Here's the interesting thing with this. Every time you put a pitch in front of someone, it's going to be different because their needs are different. It's completely different than the psychology behind weddings. So for this, now you can come up with a loose framework, but there's no sense in offering someone a new website if they're already happy with their website. Now, you might be thinking, well, how do I know if they're happy? Well, go to their website. If it looks like complete shit and mom and pop did it, then they shouldn't be happy with it. And if they are happy with it, you better educate them on why they shouldn't be. So there's no point in offering video if you can't deliver on video. But there's things you can do that are video-like, right? You can do slideshows with animation. You can do talking head, a quick about us. And you're going to have to practice and get used to this. But I would be putting packages together that stair-step them through the offering. Start real basic with just team shots, headshots, and then work your way up to something that's a little bit more involved, like video, about us, and of course the web part of it that's going to be embedded. That's part one to what you're going to offer. Part two to what you're going to offer is going to be this residual income, right? This maintenance, if you will. That's where the money really starts to kick in as far as I'm concerned, because you know what I'm not getting residuals on? My wedding clients. You know what I'm not getting residuals on? My baby and portrait clients. They take their pictures, they hang them up, and then they go, and then they leave. And if you're giving them a digital disc, a USB drive today, they're done. This becomes a really interesting way for you to have work in your pipeline, and it can be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month, depending on how many accounts you sign up. In many ways, it can change the way you're running your business, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go out there, put two separate packages together. One is about the initial work to be done, and then the second's about residual income. That residual can be $100 a month, $200 to $400 a month, $1,000 a month. Again, depending on what you're offering them, you just have to think through it just like we do for our weddings or even portraits, right? We stair step through it. To give you a number and say it should be $100 for this, I'm not there yet to tell you that. You just have to start thinking through it and realize it's going to be different for every single client. But to think, here's the crazy way these numbers work, to think that within a 25-mile radius of your studio, where you're located right now, that you can't find 10 businesses that want your service, and you can't find 10 businesses that are willing to pay $100 to $200 a month to update their site, their properties, their sticky apps, is preposterous. You are living in La La Land if you think that can't happen. And so to get 10 businesses, that represents $1,000 to $2,000 a month in income that's coming in, being auto-billed. You're not even invoicing them. This is coming in through the payment mechanism that's built in. So huge opportunity for you. And when I say 1,000 or 2,000, I think that's just the beginning. Honestly, just being honest. Other questions? I mean, Nate, do you agree with all that?
I do, yeah. So since we've been working on this, like Kate Trek, she's the one that's doing already over. She did $1,000 in like 12 businesses. Since I built my slide, she's already up to like $1,600 a month that's coming in.
$1,600 a month, and this is just in residual income. And she's a real person, right? So everybody knows. Nate, you said her name already, yeah?
Yeah, Kate. Yep.
Yeah. Well, can we have more than Kate?
You can put the slide up. It's slide number 42. So Kate Trek. Oh. Yep.
She's a real person.
She's a real person.
Okay. So
it's Kate, dude.
Yeah, it's just Kate. It's Susie. It's Susie. I think this is important for you that you're seeing. Here's somebody who's one of us. We're not talking about doing it. She is doing it, and this is the kind of stuff you want to be able to go after. And people are proving it can be done. We have an opportunity here. Everybody's a photographer. Everybody's a wedding photographer. Everybody's a portrait photographer. This becomes an opportunity for you to realize that not everyone is servicing this area, and this gives us, it truly is green grass for us to go after. But I only got time for another 3-4 questions, so I'm going to take some questions here. Caitlin?
Go ahead. Well, that one's coming in. Let me address the pricing too. So when you guys we help you make it totally flexible. So every single small business should have their own custom package, right? And just as Sal said, start with something simple. Anchor them. You've got 3 choices, and we let you build 3 pricing packages that they can review. You can change them. Sal, what the beauty of doing relationship style business is that you get your foot in the door, and they're happy with just the first couple shoots or whatever it might be. You get to go back and bump them up. Okay, now they want a video later, or they don't need a video. You can adjust their payment plan. It's kind of like having, what's the word? Not what do lawyers have when you're on retainer? It's
Retainer,
kind of
yeah.
like you're on retainer, right? Where not only does it keep residual income coming in, it keeps the relationship warm. So you always have this opportunity to sell them more of what you uniquely can do and only you can do.
Absolutely. So let's hit those questions. Sorry, Nate.
It's all good.
How important is it to separate their brands, say the wedding and portrait versus commercial?
Great question. So the question is, how important is it in separating your brands, the wedding and portrait versus commercial? I'm only going to tell you what I'm doing for me. I created a completely different brand. We created one called Creative Sync. And for me, that was really, really important to create that. Is that in the logos file? In the logos template? While I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to find this for you. For me, it was really, really important to create a different brand for the company because, yes, I want some recognition there with my current brand, but ultimately what I'm looking for is something that's people are going to be familiar with and respond to. So here's, you want to throw my screen up? Yes. So here's our Creative Sync logo. And as you can see, we used CINC as part of it for Cincotta. And then Justin Hong, who I teach and send many of you to, visuallure.com, VISUALLURE.com. He was the brainchild behind this, and it's 2 C's, good color, not your typical Sal Cincotta logo. And then we've got a couple of different versions of it. So just the icon there, and then this version as well. And this is the kind of stuff you want to have. But these are the colors and logo, which is completely different than what we would normally do for our company. Right, my company is very black and white. A lot of photographers go with that color scheme because it's all about the imagery. But here we are. We're going to be a creative company. I think we need it to be a little bit more colorful, a little bit more vibrant, and different messaging. So for me, I think it's very important to separate the 2 brands and create something new. That being said, in the beginning, there's nothing wrong with working it off your current brand. But think about it. Brides coming to your website are not looking for, commercial work. And I'm not talking about like commercial work being like high fashion. I'm talking about commercial work being like realtor headshots. That's not something they're looking for. So just keep that in mind. So I would keep them separate. Great question. Find a way to make them separate, but also find a way to build that brand awareness that these are in fact the same proprietor, if you will, so that in your local community, they realize who you are. Next question.
Carlos, my city has a pretty strong APA present, Advertising Photographers of America. Any ideas on how to gain a competitive edge against established commercial photographers?
Can everybody hear her reading the question? So the question is, his city, what's the name?
Carlos.
Carlos says, my city has a strong APA, which is, Association of Advertising Photographers, has a very strong presence in their city. What can I do to get a competitive advantage? Here's the thing. In order to do that, what's going to end up happening is you have to realize that these are not other small businesses. They are, in many cases, agencies, and they want higher price tags for this. What I would do if I'm you is offer more than just photography, because it's not just about the photography. That's the key thing to understand. You want to be a agency, for lack of a better word. I position myself as the creative director to help them reach their target. And so if you go at it that way, you will immediately create a competitive advantage. Think about how I teach wedding photography. I tell you over and over again, everybody's a photographer. What they are booking you is for the experience you give them. Example, We just signed a big builder here in $40,000 account. Just signed them here in O'Fallon. What do you think I did for him? I took we were having a conversation, a general conversation, talking about travel. And we were talking about Paris and how they had been there, but they were there very quick. They loved the city. They wish they spent more time. Well, guess what I did? I just ordered them a 30 by 40 picture that I took the last time I was in Paris of the Eiffel Tower. And I ordered that for them, and that's going to be delivered for them to hand delivered by me to hang on their wall. Yeah, that's going to cost me framed canvas. That's going to cost me, call it $400 that it's going to cost me. I just got a $40,000 account. But that's a no-brainer. You think your competitors are doing stuff like that? Yeah, take everything 80-20. Maybe you go, dude, it's a $1,000 account. I don't have $400 to spend on it. Of course you don't. But can you go drop off a $40 bottle of wine? I bet you can. And doing stuff like that will immediately, the goodwill it will create is incredible. Those are the kind of things that you can do to stand out from the crowd. Be attentive, be responsive, and take care of your clients. And it's so funny, it doesn't matter how many competitors you have in that marketplace, less than 5% get that simple fact that all you have to do to stand out from the crowd is listen to your customers, add value, and understand what they're looking for. And you will have a very, very loyal client base. Next question, 2 more.
Rodrigo, what do you think about running Facebook advertising on corporate headshots?
Rodrigo, the question came in, what do I think about running Facebook advertising for corporate headshots? I thought about that. It's hit and miss, because here's what I'm realizing is that those businesses aren't necessarily online. They're already struggling to be online. So how do you target them as a business owner? It becomes very difficult. I don't think Facebook is the way to get to them. I think this is very much boots on the ground, going door to door, direct mail, which is an old school style campaign, doing direct mail. You can try Facebook. I don't think you're going to have the results you're looking for, quite frankly, because there's no easy way to target those people and get the response. So like everything else, try it, experiment. I don't think you're going to get the response. Now, for those of you, again, who follow us in our messaging, we've advocated Facebook and those kinds of campaigns for weddings and engagement sessions, and I think that makes more sense because of they're there and we can clearly identify who they are. But with business owners, I don't think it's quite as easy, because think about it, a lot of these business owners don't even have Facebook pages, so it becomes very difficult to reach that segment of the market. Boots on the ground, Rodrigo, no cutting shortcuts. You're obviously, I know where you're at, you're in Washington, Missouri, you're in a small town. Go after those businesses that are there, and you're going to see some opportunity. Knock on doors, man. Get out there and show all your charm. All right, next question, last question.
Nate's team is answering a lot of them too.
All right, Nate, your team is apparently doing a great job answering questions. Yeah. More on the business side, though. What? Any questions there? We feel good?
If you are presenting yourself as a creative director or as a photographer.
So there's a question that came in, and we'll end with this. Am I presenting myself as a photographer or as the creative director? And that's, I don't know who asked that. Magdalena asked that question. That is a really insightful question you're asking, because I am not presenting myself as a photographer. I am presenting myself as a creative director, and that we bring all these pieces to the table. So the photography in this case becomes secondary to the creative part. Of course, you don't want to make it seem like you're outsourcing the photography. You want to let them know that photography is part of your company and what you offer. And you will be the photographer. I'm not hiding that. But the conversation is geared towards me being the creative director and helping them with vision and direction to reach their target, right? Because ultimately, you have to ask the question, what does success look like? See, that's something I think as a photographer, you would never ask. Think about it. As a photographer, you would never ask them, what does success look like? But as a creative director, you will ask that question. And every meeting I go into, my question to them is, what does success look like? So with my builder, I ask them point blank, what does success look like to you? I can do all the great photography, all the great video, all the great web development and sticky apps. He could feel like he wasted his money with me because we did not achieve his goal and objectives. But if I don't ask that question, which by the way, a photographer would never ask the goal, that question. If you ask a photographer, what's your goal? Get great pictures, right? That's not what they're looking for as a business owner. As a business owner, they're going, my builder told me I have to sell 12 lots. That's my number one goal. Okay, Well, my mission is to help him sell those 12 lots. And that changes you from a photographer to more of a partner, to more of a trusted advisor, more of a creative director. So, Nate, thank you for
Thank you,
being
man.
here.
This was great.
And go ahead, man.
And this is so much fun. I love the enthusiasm. These questions are great. I love the business aptitude already. I can see in your audience, people are chomping at the bit. We've had people sign up already. Thank you guys so much. Use the link to grab this exclusive deal. I'll wrap up with, as a reminder, this isn't about replacing your portrait business. What we're seeing is this was designed with the intention that this is a supplement, as a way to create recurring revenue, so you never have a slow season ever again. And it actually helps you grow your portrait business by the classic tried and true cross promotions. By helping out commercial businesses, you're going to get portrait referrals. By now being able to talk about your portrait and your business services to your portrait customers, it's going to cross pollinate back and forth, just making your business that much more strong.
Well, Nate, thank you for being part of this call. And if it's one thing I can tell you about our audience is they want to make money. And that's why I love our audience. There's a lot of audiences out there in the world of photography, all sorts of niches. My audience loves, I think they do, the down and dirty, direct conversation that we have and deliver for them in messaging. And, you know, if I think something sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. And if I think something's good, I'm going to tell them it's good. And, you know, thank you, all of you. I know we had some tech issues. By the way, this will be the future for Shutter Magazine and what will be the School of Photography. So this was our very first debut. Nate, thank you for dealing with us with any of the technical issues. And our audience, thank you for any of the technical issues we had with some audio in the beginning. But it's new for all of us, right? Innovate or die. That's what this is all about. And so thank you again. Love all you guys. Nate, thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.
All right, cheers. I'll be on Facebook answering any questions you guys have. Have an awesome day.
All right, buddy. Later.
Cheers.